My question was, before I saw all this, was when I first purchased my home in 2006, I brought down the interest rate to zero. And now that my son this year, he bought his home with the interest rate of 4.5. And I was wondering, I was telling him to buy down the interest rate. Would that be a good advice now?
Listen, when you know better, you do better. Okay, Ashika? Here's what our
Mm-hmm.
advice we give our clients. Never, ever, ever, ever buy down the interest rate. Anything the bank is offering you to save
Mm-hmm.
money, okay? So is the banking system, if it's a public company, they are beholden to their shareholders. So if you have a share in that bank, do you want that bank to make a profit so that your investment can grow? I'm just asking.
Yes.
Okay. Now, is the bank beholden to their shareholders or are they beholden to you? So they just made you an offer to save you money, didn't they?
Mm,
By buying down your interest rate, you're paying less interest. Therefore, it
mm-hmm.
saves you money, correct?
Correct.
If you're saving money, who would have to be losing money?
The bank will have to be losing money.
And you know that's not true, don't you?
Right.
Because they're not beholden to you, they're beholden to their shareholders.
Shareholders. Correct.
So, how many shareholders could they keep if they keep losing money by making deals with you?
Right.
So, we have to find out how are they making money by offering you a lower interest rate that you could buy down. So, what most people don't know, Ashika, maybe
Mm-hmm.
we'll get a chance to go over this, but what most people don't know, it is harder to pay off a loan faster when you lower the interest rate. I will repeat that one more time. It is
Yes.
harder to pay off the loan faster if you lower the interest rate. And the people that own the bank know that, not the people that work in the bank. They don't know that.
Well, now that I know what you're saying with the 7 years, so back then my mortgage, because I paid off my mortgage was 30 years. I was able to pay it off in 10 years, but I
Mm-hmm.
didn't have no interest because I brought down my interest.
Mm-hmm.
But now that I'm hearing how you're doing it with the 7 years,
Mm-hmm.
and I just want to be able to relate that to my son now that he has a mortgage.
All right. So here, I'm going to show you an example of this right now. Okay.
Okay.
So that you can see. So I'm putting in a $200,000 mortgage at 6% because that's the one we're using in our example. Our payment
Correct.
is $1199.10. So now, when we take a look at this, out of that very first payment, $199.10 goes to principal,
Mm-hmm.
$1,000 goes to interest, correct?
Correct.
Because of our 6% interest rate, our principal payments are here. So if this is our January payment, okay,
Mm-hmm.
then this would be our February principal payment on line number 2, wouldn't it?
Correct.
So I make my January payment. I don't owe anything until February. So if we take a look at this schedule and we know that we're going to pay $200.10 towards principal in February, let me ask you, do I have to wait till February to give the bank that $200?
No, you don't.
If I had it, could I give it to them in January?
Yes, you can.
If I did, no interest comes out of that money. All of that money goes to principal, doesn't it?
Correct.
So I'm paid down to line 2 in January because I gave them the $200.10 early, correct?
Correct.
Since I'm already on line 2, my next mortgage payment is actually on line 3 for February. So the payment for March actually moves up one. What just happened? I got rid of line 2 on my amortization schedule for only $200.10, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
And I saved this $999 in interest I never have to pay, correct?
Correct.
All right. So now, if we take a look at this thing, if I do this paid in January and I give the bank the
Mm-hmm.
next 3 principal payments, 1, 2, 3, I knock
Mm-hmm.
out 3 mortgage payments I never have to make, and I do that about $603. I knock
Okay.
out nearly $3,000 in interest I never have to pay with about
Correct.
$603, right?
Right.
Okay, now that's at a 6% interest rate. So if I take a look at cumulative principal and cumulative interest now, that's
Mm-hmm.
all the principal payments added up, all the interest payments added up. In 1 year, I paid this loan down by 2456.01. And how much interest does the bank want me to pay in 1 year just to pay it off by 2456.01?
You said that I was on line 3.
Right.
Say it one more time so I can follow you.
So now you're on line 12.
I'm on 12. That's 210.33.
Okay. Now we're looking at cumulative principal. We're looking at column 3 and column 4.
Right. 2,456 and 1 cent.
And how much interest do they want to pay in column 4 for 1 year?
11,933 and 19 cents.
Exactly. So here's my next question. If you already know you have to pay 2456.01 because that's money you borrowed.
Right.
Do you have to pay it in 12 monthly installments?
No, you don't.
Could you pay it in one if you had it?
Yes.
So would you be paid down to here in 1 month instead of 12 months?
Yes.
What would happen to all the interest payments between line 2 and line 12?
Oh, they would disappear.
Right. So you can pay down, you can give the bank this in 1 month, be paid down to here in 1 month, and save yourself $10,944.42 in interest. Now, that's at the 6% interest rate. Now, what if we could lower that to 4%? What if we could buy it down to 4? Okay. Take a look at this. We're going to duplicate this tab, put in the same amount, but we're going to put it at 4% instead.
Okay.
So remember, I said if we did 2456 all at one time, we would knock out a year's worth of payments, wouldn't we?
Yes, we will.
And the very first principal payment was $200 or $199.10, and then it went to $200, right?
Right.
When we lower the interest rate, now look at our new payment here. It's lower than the other payment, but look at our principal payment now. Wait till it changes. Our principal payments start out at not $199.10. Where do they start out now? Okay,
I see.
So if I'm going to get rid of line 2 on this loan, how much money do I have to come up with?
$289.12.
And before I only had to come up with $200.
Right.
So when you lower the interest rate, you actually make it harder to pay the loan off faster because you still have that amount of money to pay extra on the loan. And remember that 2456 paid all at once knocks off a year's worth of payments.
Okay.
Now, what does 2456 do?
Right. Right. It makes sense because paying down the interest, well, the going interest rate now to pay down interest rate is $3,000. But if you apply the $3,000 to here, you done knocked out a year worth of payments.
Look at you. Look at you. Listen, would you want to come on board and help me teach this? Do you see what I'm talking about? Never buy down the rate. Never buy down the rate because the bank is making money on it. There's more to it than that, but I don't have time to go deeply into that. But if you get a consultation, we can go deep into this.
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely. You'll see me in your back channel.
There you go. There you go. All right. All right.
But Don has some valuable information that can contribute to the quality of a person's life. And it only costs you a few dollars. It's his book. Why not get that?
I'm going to go through the P.I.L. method myself with some of my investment properties. So I'm going to link up with Don, and then I'm going to sit down with him, show him my investment portfolio, and see how I can eliminate interest.